double brackets to fit the mathematical equation of a machine learning model when we just use one column as explanatory variable. It is a controversial question that many of my students ask me. Why do we need double brackets in the x parameter and just one in the y parameter? Let's say, for example, that we have this data frame where we want to calculate a mathematical equation to predict the number of accidents based on alcohol. We import the class, we create the instance, and then we ask the documentation of the fit function. And they tell us that the x parameter needs an array of shape n samples and n features, whereas the y needs an array of n samples, just that, or also n samples and n targets. If we use one bracket, like here, we get a shape of just n samples, not n samples and n features. So by the time we fit the mathematical equation, we see here an error which says expected an array of 2 dimensions, but instead got 1-dimensional array. How could we have gotten a 2-dimensional array? By using the double brackets, because double brackets returns a data frame that has a shape of 2 dimensions, n samples 51 and n features 1 column. Now I execute with the double brackets and the function doesn't give me any error, so everything was calculated correctly. Why can you use single brackets with the y parameter? That's because the documentation of the function tells us that we can do so. The x parameter doesn't. They need n samples and n features, mandatory. So why they couldn't just use one bracket and make it work? Well, the developers of the code may have good reasons for this. You just need to adapt to the way the developers made the instructions. And you don't need to know everything. You just read the documentation, you try to understand the meaning of the objects that you need to pass to the parameters, and then you modify the code to make it work. I hope now that you understand why we need to use double brackets instead of one when we try to fit a mathematical equation with just one explanatory variable. If you have any doubt, please let me know in the comments below and I will happily reply to them as soon as I can. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel to not miss out the content that I have prepared for you to become an efficient Python developer.